লাইফে যা কিছুই সিচুয়েশন হোক, আমি থাকি সব সময় রেডি, থ্যাঙ্কস টু
d'Hakimi.
Et on a vu les difficultés pour la première relance de Verratti. Kylian Mbappé avec Léo Messi. A noter que les joueurs du PSG, David, jouent avec un flocage un peu particulier aujourd'hui.
Et oui, Julien, un flocage ballon d'or pour le 7e ballon de Lionel Messi. Je vais vous laisser commenter ça.
Avec Sofiane Diop pour récupérer, il est dans l'axe pour donner à Ben Yedder. Ben Yedder pour Diop, le poteau, la réussite pour Donnarumma. C'est un gardien qui sur ce coup-là a pas mal de chance, mais c'est une formation monégasque qui va vite gratter les ballons et se projeter.
Ouais, il a répondu à la question, Diop dans l'air, comment ça allait passer avec Ben Yedder, très bien. Relation technique, on sait Ben Yedder, toute la classe qu'il a dans la surface. Là c'est le ballon parfait, il manque quelques centimètres pour que ça fasse poteau rentrant, mais un gros avertissement.
Et donc pour terminer, le flocage doré en hommage au 7e ballon d'or de Léo Messi. Kylian Mbappé, l'ancien de l'AS Monaco, pour attaquer. Une solution à droite, la remise pour donner à Messi, la frappe du gauche peut-être. Il y a du monde dans la surface, il y a du monde devant la surface aussi, avec une très bonne intervention défensive. Ça revient avec Di Maria, sa spéciale externe du gauche comme ça.
The world is a...
d'être à Montpellier, de voir Savanier faire quelques extérieurs avec Di Maria et Messi, on va être servi aussi.
Di Maria avec
défendre sûrement.
Caio Henrique avec Axel Dissassi. Caio Henrique avec Axel Dissassi. Chouameni pour Nubel. Sidibé pressé par Gay.
Attention.
Bonne récupération de Verratti. Mbappé. Le petit gaucher Messi qui n'a pas pu passer. Dissassi avec Chouameni. Aurélien Chouameni encore alors que Léo Messi se touche encore le pied. Sidibé le centre, c'est sorti par Marquinhos. Et le ballon est maintenant pour Marco Verratti.
Bien joué.
Même déséquilibré, il trouve l'équilibre.
Mais on voit quand même au milieu de terrain, que ce soit Chouameni, Fofana, ils mettent beaucoup de pression, ils ont déjà récupéré des ballons.
Alors on revient à la faute précédente.
Logique.
Mais vous parliez des deux, mais on avait aussi le travail de Golovin sur le côté pour venir
Golovin
presser
qui
aussi.
Défend, Diop qui défend aussi dans l'axe. Diop, peut-être Diop un peu plus sur Verratti, lui qui travaille plus que Golovin. Voilà. La clé du match sera sûrement au milieu de terrain. Parce que vous avez des deux côtés des joueurs de très haut niveau, mais Monaco a la capacité en tout cas à récupérer plus de ballons que d'autres équipes de Ligue 1 face au PSG.
Sofiane Diop qui était très content visiblement de retrouver Thierry Henry avant la rencontre. Son premier coach en pro. Qui n'est pas content de toute façon depuis le début de la saison de croiser Thierry Henry sur les bords de terrain de Ligue 1.
Moi j'aime bien en tout cas, on rigole bien. On parle de foot aussi mais on rigole bien.
C'est ça, la totale. Léo Messi avec Ganagay. Mbappé, à gauche il y a Bernat, il l'a servi maintenant. L'Espagnol pour tenter de trouver une solution.
Bien joué.
Une, deux, Bernat encore. Superbe pour donner à Wijnaldum. Il y avait eu des très bons déplacements de chacun. Il manque juste la finition pour le Néerlandais.
Et là on voit le Néerlandais qui dit à Messi, parce que Messi est tout seul derrière, on sait que cette position est préférentielle pour lui. Il lui dit parle-moi plus fort. Parce que s'il écarte les jambes, Messi il est tout seul à 7-8 mètres et ça fait quasiment but. Mais en tout cas la passe de Mbappé elle est dans le bon tempo. Et l'importance de Bernat dans ce couloir gauche, techniquement, c'est pas le joueur le plus rapide, etc. Mais techniquement il joue très juste.
Et on voit cette qualité de passe désormais entre guillemets de Kylian Mbappé, même s'il le disait au micro de Thierry il y a quelques jours, il y a une semaine, que de toute façon ça faisait quelques saisons qu'il faisait partie des meilleurs passeurs.
C'est vrai, on s'en rendait peut-être pas compte, moins compte, mais cette année il a mis beaucoup des centres vraiment décisifs, notamment le dernier face à Lens, mais même contre Angers, etc. Techniquement, que ce soit pied droit, pied gauche, il a beaucoup plus de justesse. C'est normal, c'était encore un jeune joueur qui s'étoffe et la panoplie va s'agrandir au fur et à mesure des années parce qu'on continue à travailler. Mais c'est intéressant pour lui.
Et c'était intéressant. De toute façon, cet échange entre les deux attaquants champions du monde, vous pouvez le retrouver sur les réseaux sociaux, sur les pages de Prime Video. Diallo vers Bernat. Juan Bernat à nouveau, lui qui n'était pas qualifié, on le rappelle, pour la phase de poule de Ligue des Champions, blessé très longuement, qu'il sera sans doute pour la suite de la compétition. Kylian Mbappé. Mbappé de l'autre côté, deux solutions. Messi qui contrôle, qui frappe, mais qui bute sur Fofana.
On a vu le centre d'Mbappé. Encore une fois, mauvais pied, magnifique.
Et la séquence de conservation du Paris Saint-Germain, là, elle est à signaler. Si c'était allé au bout.
Quand vous avez Juan Bernat notamment sur le côté gauche, il a une sortie de balle, même sous pression, il panique jamais.
Di Maria avec le pied droit s'est détourné. Très bonne séquence pour les Parisiens. Et le premier corner de la partie pour les hommes de Pochettino. Ça a été joué rapidement. L'esthète Di Maria, ça passe. Esthète mais pas mat sur ce coup-là.
L'arbitre était proche.
C'est quand même en train d'être contrôlé par la VAR à quelques kilomètres d'ici. Jérémy Pignard et Stéphane Bray en charge de l'assistance vidéo à l'arbitrage. Et il y a quand même un contact.
Il y a le pied sur le pied gauche, ouais. Il y a le pied de Sidibé sur le pied gauche.
Il y a un vrai contact, Mathieu.
Ça peut siffler.
Est-ce que c'est une décision clairement erronée? Il pourrait...
Surtout en plus, c'est que derrière Di Maria, il va avoir le ballon. C'est là où ça change la donne quand même, ce petit coup. C'est pas comme si le ballon était à 5-6 mètres. Derrière, il est vraiment jouable, il est en bonne situation.
Oui, il ne tombe pas pour rien, pour le plaisir de courir.
Parce que sinon, il avait le ballon, donc oui, ça peut siffler.
C'est parce qu'il est sur son pied droit en fait, l'arbitre s'est dit.
Il aurait pas mis pied droit, il aurait mis extra pied gauche.
Ah, il en a mis quelques-uns quand même.
Ouais, non. Peut-être coup du foulard.
Alors, Di Maria toujours au sol. Est-ce qu'on va appeler le coach, l'arbitre, Benoît Bastien? Regardons cela, le geste. Oui, il va être appelé. Ça veut dire quand même que pour ceux qui sont en charge de l'assistance vidéo, la décision leur semble clairement erronée. Est-ce que ce sera le cas aussi pour Benoît Bastien? À suivre.
Ouais, tout à fait. Mais comme on l'a dit, ça peut siffler parce qu'il y a le pied, ça gêne, ça l'empêche de finir l'action. C'est pas une grosse faute. Mais on voit le pied gauche de Sidibé sur le pied gauche de Di Maria, donc oui, ça peut siffler.
Ça peut siffler, mais est-ce que pour lui, ça doit se siffler? Réponse d'ici quelques instants. Il revoit l'image et effectivement, la faute, elle ne fait guère de doute.
D'ailleurs, il a le ballon.
Il acquiesce.
La décision pour Benoît Bastien. Penalty. Et carton. Jaune sans doute pour Sidibé. Et Diop qui essaie de plaider la cause de son partenaire en vain.
Le carton. C'est sévère, non? C'est vous, monsieur l'arbitre.
Toura Lex, cette Lex, la loi est dure, mais c'est la loi. Djibril Sidibé averti, 11e minute. C'est Kylian Mbappé qui a tout de suite pris le ballon pour frapper. Kylian Mbappé pour le penalty. Il en avait transformé un contre Angers.
Il avait laissé Messi contre Bruges.
Et il en avait raté un en Ligue des Champions face à Leipzig. C'est une autre histoire. On est à la 12e minute. C'est un dimanche soir à Paris, au Parc des Princes. Kylian Mbappé concentré depuis plusieurs minutes. Le temps que Benoît Bastien vérifie qu'il siffle ensuite. Kylian Mbappé face à Alexander Nubel, la possibilité de marquer, possibilité et conclusion, comme il le faut pour Kylian Mbappé. Paris est devant, 1-0. Oh oui, il l'aime, Kylian Mbappé au Parc des Princes. On revoit la faute. 8e pénalty concédé cette saison déjà par Monaco.
C'est beaucoup.
6 en championnat, plus 2 en Coupe d'Europe.
Ça fait beaucoup trop sur une première partie de saison. Alors est-ce que, même depuis le début du match, ils ont tendance quand même à défendre beaucoup dans la surface? C'est-à-dire que les duels, au lieu d'être joués en dehors, sont dans la surface. Vous prenez le risque de faire faute à tout moment. Comme là, on l'a dit, c'est pas une grosse faute. Ça peut siffler, ça s'est sifflé, ça fait but. Peut-être falloir qu'ils se débrouillent pour défendre en avançant et faire monter le bloc un peu plus haut pour être beaucoup moins présent dans leur surface.
Il avait choisi une équipe joueuse. On l'a dit, Niko Kovac. Ça veut aussi dire qu'il a une équipe qui peut réagir par le jeu maintenant. Attention à ces petites erreurs, à ces mises en danger des partenaires. Caio Henrique avec Dissassi.
Le pied gauche, c'est bien fait. Non, c'est fait exprès ça.
Passe réussi dans les stats là.
En plus, avant le match, vous avez dit l'inverse. Vous avez dit que Dissassi allait jouer à droite et Maripane à gauche. Vous avez vu faire comme ça et ça m'étonne que Dissassi soit sur, entre guillemets, plus souvent sur le pied gauche que le pied droit.
Au fond. Celle-là, elle était belle. Marquinhos là, oui.
Non, mais pour revenir sur Monaco, ils sont capables avec le ballon de mettre en danger cette équipe-là. Ils ont des joueurs de qualité devant. On les a vu déjà sur la première situation avec Diop. C'est un but, vous avez du retard, mais c'est encore le début du match.
Le coup franc en faveur de l'ASM. Paris cette saison en championnat a toujours gagné après avoir marqué le premier but. On les a vus souvent en réaction, notamment ces derniers temps. Mais lorsqu'ils ont marqué le premier but, 8 matchs, 8 victoires en championnat. Ça a été un peu différent en Ligue des Champions, mais en Ligue 1 c'est comme ça pour le moment.
L'avantage qu'ils ont, Julien, c'est grand.
Golovin pour frapper, la tête de Tchouaméni, c'est repris par Dissassi avec Gelson Martins. Le Portugais s'était bien centré, la bonne sortie de Donnarumma.
L'avantage qu'ils ont, c'est que quand ils ouvrent le score, eux qui sont très très forts en transition, ils peuvent se mettre un peu plus bas et laisser de l'espace à Mbappé. Ou à Messi ou à Di Maria, et les autres sont obligés de faire un peu plus le jeu pour revenir au score, ça ouvre plus de possibilités pour eux. Donc dès qu'ils ouvrent, derrière le jeu va s'ouvrir, ils ont avec la capacité technique qu'ils ont et de vitesse de course.
Something we pointed out, a lot of movement here, but have you noticed more switching left to right, right to left with Di Maria and Mbappe?
No doubt about it. But Neymar is another guy that really becomes a 10. Di Maria at times will stay out wide. Mbappe, as you can see the right side, will also stretch that back four a little bit more than Neymar does. So it becomes harder. They become harder to defend for that back four and that midfield two, with Verratti, Wijnaldum and Gay picking their spots with and without the ball to support that front three as well. Lots of communication from Monaco in terms of where the front three ends up being.
Hakimi, Mbappe. Well, it's not an experiment you'd like to take. When you have someone like Neymar, you want to have him available, but he will be available in the money end of the season. Mbappe, maybe a bit retaliatory, thinks the referee after he was stripped, goes in and brings down the opponent.
I think it's Diop that's on the ground field that wins the ball, gets away, and yes, that's a yellow card offense by Mbappe from behind. In particular, that right knee in the backside of the 21-year-old.
There you can see, and there did seem to be a little bit of intent, maybe a little payback.
Yeah, and that hurts, Phil. And that soft tissue, beat your thigh or your backside. We call that a Charlie horse, which is painful. You can play through it, but the next 2 days when he wakes up, he'll be stiff and sore.
Can also tighten up at the half, although he's just 21.
Yeah, you put a little heat on that normally. You know, they got great trainers and physios now on the top level. Shouldn't be a problem. You're right. Youth will solve most things.
7th penalty conceded by Monaco this season. And the 6th that they have allowed. By the way, they've also scored 5. So Monaco games 12 penalties. For PSG, just 2, and they have yet to concede one.
That's pretty amazing. More so the first than the latter. Giving up
Good point.
7, that means a lack of discipline, and a lot of times if you're not organized and you're always scrambling defensively, things like that will happen, like we've saw obviously on the penalty as well, Phil. Might not always be malintent, but if Di Maria gets away from you and you stretch this and you catch somebody, which happened here, it might have happened in 6 other cases, that's a lot of goals to overcome.
4 players up, 3 men in support as they pressure the goal kick, but PSG handling it well, although maybe I spoke too soon. Ganagay giving it away with a bit of a sloppy pass. Now Martin's out wide. Kind of finished the penalty talk, though. In some ways, the fact that all of this attacking talent for PSG has only been able to draw 2 penalties of their own shows something isn't clicking. They are getting goals, now 37 to top Ligue 1, but you kind of figure that they would be causing more problems for the defense. Maybe if Lionel Messi continues his burst of form. Nice by Mbappe. Knew he didn't have much time. It does cross the goal line, says the assistant on this near side, Hisham Zakani, and it's going to be a goal kick for Monaco.
Mbappe was brilliant, how he takes that ball down with his head, Phil, to get away from people as well. You allow that second bounce to come, and you take it off your chest or your thigh, you allow a defender to recover.
Pressure from Messi, forcing the errant pass. Ganagay trying to thread it through. Now here comes Monaco on the turnover. Near side, it's Golovin. Weaves his way through and finds a little bit of green pasture. Out wide for Diop. Scored the winner in the meeting last year. Headed back across. A tangle at the back post on the Ben Yedder header.
Yeah, what a great sequence, Phil. That was the patience, the build-up, the early ball far post. Ben Yedder in the air with his eyes open, trying to find the trailer, which is not an easy technique, Phil. Just gets away from Diop, but nice sequence of Monaco.
By the way, we've talked so often about how good Marquinhos is in the air at just 6 feet. We saw there, this and Ben Yedder just 5'7". But he can be a craftsman as well. And here up the middle channel, drags it forward, gets away from Marquinhos. Out comes Donnarumma. Marquinhos trying to clear. Now the volley deflected wide off Ganagay. The shot from Tchouaméni wide for the corner, but Monaco knocking on the door.
Yeah, they certainly are, Phil. And again, a turnover by Verratti, who tries to get up and look at the referee and say, hey, that might have been a foul. Twice now, Verratti with lots of possession. Twice good opportunities for Ben Yedder. And then a strike from distance that hits Ganagay to go for a corner, because that's destined for the upper V. Good response by Monaco after going down 1-0.
Looks like they might have taken a quick check to see if that might have hit Ganagay's arm, but his arm's so tight to the body that would not be called. Now remember, Donnarumma's debut, similar collision that injured his hand and kept him on the shelf for a couple of games. Bravery by the Italian. It will be a corner. Diop sending it long. Tchouaméni. Out comes Donnarumma. And even before he contacts, a foul for a push in the box.
I tell you, Donnarumma 3 times have come off his line very aggressively, going into traffic, knowing that it's going to hurt or he will hurt somebody else. Once collided with the opponent, now with Wijnaldum. I like that, Phil. And second starts, can we read something into this? Is he the number 1?
Well, some recent blunders by Keylor Navas. Again, mistakes of aggression, but mistakes nonetheless. Di Maria called offside. Well, it's opened the door.
And since teams, Phil, look at PSG and say, hey, they're vulnerable out wide with potential crosses, then Donnarumma becomes more important than Navas coming off his line with his height.
Sliding through his Golovin, threads it forward. Nice by Diop, wide for Martins. Tries to freeze Bernat, and he does get another corner out of it.
Again, good reaction by Monaco, being more aggressive right now, getting numbers going forward, putting PSG under duress. Second straight corner field, 2 good opportunities in the last 10 minutes. Another corner where they're going to test the Marquinhos of the world. And without Kimpembe, there's not a lot of height right now in this team, Phil. And no Danilo, so...
Six in the box, finding Disasi. Awkward by Verratti. Blocked for Fofana. Gets through, Hakimi drags it around Verratti, swings to the top of the 6, loose. And they can't find the handle. Maripan screaming handball. PSG plays on. And it's Mbappe. Near side Messi, but he's not going to find him. Now VAR frantically looking at the last exchange. PSG looking for a second. We'll take a closer look. Such a bang-bang play. Those rarely are called. Monaco scrambling back to defend. Nice step up, stealing it away from Messi. One back on the challenge by Ganagay. Messi ridden to the ground and down. Actually, it's Di Maria. Down he goes.
Very similar foul again, Phil, because Di Maria manipulation of the ball, not like Messi has that forces players to start stretching towards the ball. Here you see that sequence again with Monaco going forward. Good numbers there, and I'm telling you, I'm not sure who it wasn't a volley, Phil. If that first touch is better, Golovin maybe, then you're looking at a potential 1-1.
A little far away for most. Messi is not most. Maybe close to 30 yards from goal. And Alexander Nubel rightly worried. A master since his days at Barcelona. Messi looking to do the same here in Paris. Strikes, but he gets under it and it sails over the crossbar.
Yeah, that's a tough one, Phil. As you said, distance sometimes doesn't matter, but this ball never really came down. And look at that technique, Phil. Underneath the heart of the ball, more shoelaces than instep as well, but still trying to generate enough power. The most important thing is he didn't get a bend on his ball, so just kept sailing towards Rosie.
Take a look at the Champions League teams that are still alive in the knockout stage. Ball flipped in, headed away Marquinhos. Martin's been very active here in the first half. Shot from Diop, maybe a little touch.
Yeah, there is a touch.
And that almost dropped it into the corner.
Yeah, 4th or 5th time now that Monaco is very proactive in their pressing, Phil. Second phase attacks are staying alive. Shots from distance, another corner. Donnarumma just wants to make sure, but that, I'm telling you, that's closer than people thought. Giving Diop another opportunity to find the big man.
Donnarumma has been very aggressive off of his line. Diop takes it to the top of the 18, settled by Golovin. Looked like the referee in the way a bit. Ben Yedder surrounded by 3, almost forces it through. Ganagay pokes it off for the young Frenchman, and out it goes for the goal kick.
Yeah, actually Di Maria does well by doubling and helping out with Ganagay. Brilliant defending there. But if you're Golovin, you like to get something at goal there, Phil. Good first touch. Should allow him to open up and get a strike. He needs to take a second touch, and all of a sudden there is that pressure as well. If that's Voland with 5 assists, by the way, he'll find somebody or he'll hit the target.
Monaco brings it back. The draw tomorrow for both Champions League and Europa knockout stage. In recent years, there's been a couple of times where you could almost say finishing runner-up might have been better. This is not one of those years.
No, it's not, Phil.
Well, PSG can't draw Manchester City.
Or Lille.
Or Lille, who might be one of the teams you might want to draw. Juventus, Manchester United, maybe some of the weaker links, but hard to go against the old lady, and United with Rangnick in charge now. Then you have Bayern, Real, Ajax, and Liverpool. Pick your poison.
Exactly. There'll be a big-time matchup somewhere down the line. I don't think that anybody wants to face Ajax as well. And Lille is a potential sleeper. Well done, Ligue 1.
Cutting to the inside, Di Maria. Meanwhile, Monaco winning their group along with Lyon moving on.
Yeah, that's pretty significant, you know.
West Ham advancing as well, and they might be a bit of a dark horse, but you'd think Monaco might have a chance, especially looking at some of the teams that have dropped down. Of course, the irony is Lionel Messi's old Barcelona is one of those teams. So what will Xavi do in the knockout stage of Europa? Because that might be a bit of a problem for Monaco. Long ball forward, too long for Bernat.
Yeah. And the French clubs have just performed brilliantly in Europe that you just referenced, Phil. And better than any other nation in Europe. 6 clubs still competing. That's a coefficient of 15,417, I think, which is higher than any other league in Europe. So anybody that doesn't appreciate or underrates this league is not up to date with what you and I call each and every week in this brilliantly talented league.
And so much of it from a youth perspective. That one, of course, commentators curse. Martin's reminding him which way the goal is.
Now you go back to that. There you see Ramos, Neymar. Going back to the inability to score maybe more goals, Phil. It's a wholly infuriating collection of great celebrities and stars, and the weight of the talent.
Loose at the top, Diallo. Guiding it back.
The team sheet of Pochettino, you know, when he scribbles it down. So regardless who he puts down there, they're supposed to win. It's not that easy.
Of course, Stade Rennais, one of those teams that's still alive, thanks to COVID protocols, it appears, and they might actually get a 3-0 forfeit with Spurs.
Incredible.
At this point, unable to find a date to make up the game.
Yeah, we got some problems, particularly in the EPL. Today's Tottenham game again postponed, Phil. Now they're like 3 games behind.
Oh,
with 6 coming up in the next 2 weeks anyway, around Christmas time, you know, in England.
Long ball, too long for Martins, who's getting a little frustrated.
We still see fans in France, and I'm going to see my mom in the Netherlands, but no fans in the Netherlands or Germany for that matter. Continue to struggle.
Threaded in for Ben Yedder, just half a step too far.
Yeah, you see Diop and Martins flip-flopping sides as well, trying to find the right matchup against Bernat or Hakimi.
Di Maria and Mbappe have had a little more success in their flips for PSG, although Monaco has frustrated them over the last 10 minutes or so. Here comes Messi, quickly gets rid of it. Di Maria with Hakimi, he'll use them, the two ex-Madridistas. Messi, well, not exactly on the same page.
No, you just talked about Hakimi and Messi, Phil. 58% for Hakimi, 55%. They're only the 2 players in Ligue 1 to post more than a 50% success in their passes towards the opposition's box. So passes attempted forward in the middle of final third.
So positive passes.
Yes, thank you.
10 minutes left to go. A nice little change of pace by Martins. Credit to Diallo staying with him. Bernat has had to slide inside to cover. That could be a mismatch. Ball back for Diop. Now Fofana. Disasi. Here's Caio, who's been relatively quiet. Threaded forward. Back for Golovin. Top of the 18. Marquinhos didn't hear the footsteps, but he just gets rid of it in time.
Interesting to note, Phil, that normally the fullback on Di Maria's side is the least productive because Di Maria also defends more than Messi and Mbappe.
And more than Neymar.
Yes.
So and there is an argument that this might be maybe not a more dangerous but a more complete formation. But it's again one of those reasons why PSG has all of that depth. Verratti, Wijnaldum, Hakimi. 9 minutes remain in this opening half. Marquinhos having to stretch those legs. Don't forget a complete recap of the entire round immediately following this matchup on our Liga recap show. There have been some interesting results, to say the least. Nantes coming back from 2 goals down against Lens to start things out. Then the hottest team in French football was Stade Brestois. Montpellier put paid to that with a 4-0 road win yesterday. New boss, same result. Saint-Etienne stumbling. Lille dropping points again at home today. Clermont finally gets a win. Was that 6 straight without?
Yes.
Then Nice, Bordeaux, and Marseille, all with road wins. Can Monaco follow them? They're going to need to come from behind to do it.
Yeah, Dolberg with another goal for Nice.
Ooh.
4th place, just 1 point behind Rennes.
Credit to Metz as well. Breaking out to a 3-0 lead and holding on for a 4-1 win against Lorient.
And that puts Marseille, I think, in second, Phil, with a game in hand, probably about 32 points, 17 games played. PSG, 18 now.
But if they don't get a result here today, Marseille could cut it down to 7, which is 3 games with half a season to go. Well, not as impossible as it would have once appeared. Right now, PSG in front by a goal, thanks to the Sidibé penalty. Golovin, Fofana, Sidibé. Martins finds a channel. Tchouaméni. Well, you talked about it earlier, Tchouaméni and Fofana. What is it makes them so good? Stripped away nicely by Wijnaldum. Hold on to that thought. Here comes Messi with the afterburners on. Mbappe's on the far flank. Di Maria sees him, but he also saw Messi, but he can't find him with the ball.
First thing is range, Phil, and that was a great discussion I used to have at Rennes Migos, because I was very much into, I want to be a coach eventually. What do you create in midfield? All-rounders or very specific guys in certain positions? And you see more and more all-rounders, the Pogba kind of guys that can go up and down, do a lot of little things well, defending. And another thing is they're highly intelligent, Phil, for their age tactically. So starting positions are great. And the ability to stimulate the attack, as you can see right now, so important.
Ball threaded through, takes a little deflection. Some might say those players are more coachable. And that's not always a compliment, because some complain that the days of the Pelés, Maradonas, and yes, even the Messis might be over if the coaches have their say.
Yes.
Shot deflected up and over corner.
And the biggest clubs in the world, Phil, show you that they're sometimes don't play with a 10 or a 9. Chelsea comes to mind, City comes to mind.
So we're going to end up with 10 fullbacks before too long?
We're going to end up with number 8s, traditional number 8s being 6, 8s, and 10s.
From the corner all the way across, this time Donnarumma grabs it with his hands. Well, you kind of see that here today with Wijnaldum, Verratti, and Ganagay.
Yes, and look in front, let's be real honest, that don't play with a true 9, although Mbappe, if you ask him his preference, would prefer central striker. But this is a guy that can beat you on the left flank, the right flank, and can finish as well. Yes, that's the future. Thank God for the traditional number 9s and young players like a Haaland. That's more Lewandowski-like.
And again, dominoes will fall when the transfer market opens up again, maybe as soon as January. Nice cut in by Hakimi, but he doesn't get it. Ben Yedder does. Golovin, maybe not Voland-like, but he has been dangerous. Shot off Verratti, right back to Monaco.
Yeah, the key for him is the final pass, Phil. As I said again, Voland has more assists than all the other guys combined in his team. So trying to find that front 3 is key for Golovin. Outside of maybe picking up a goal here and there as well. He hasn't done that yet.
Verratti impeded quickly, gets it rolling again. No one's up there with Messi, and he looks a little frustrated.
Yeah, at 41, PSG says, let's don't concede before the half. So numbers has dropped a little bit and a little cautious now in sending numbers forward and being vulnerable potentially in the counter-attack, Phil. Smart.
50 degrees, nice crisp chill in the air. Just a couple of games before the pre-Christmas part of the season winds to a close. Do have a showdown next weekend with Fenish Al Nouab. Probably a lot of the reserves and some of the very promising youngsters in that one. And then at Lorient before they pack up the balls for the new year. Taken away by Monaco in the midfield. Monaco also with a couple of matches against Red Star Paris and then home against Stade Rennais before their 2021 comes to a close. Disasi, not exactly where he wanted it to go. Good step up by Verratti. Outlet ball, edge of the 18, but Nubel quick off his line.
Yeah, the key for Monaco, as much as it's tough on the road against PSG to get some results, that they look at that number 2, 3, 4 spot, Phil, and with a loss here, and depending on the result next week, that gap could be pretty large.
Nice cover by Hakimi, but again, they go right back into that gap. Ben Yedder, the captain, drags, draws, threaded nicely by Fofana. Here's Martins from a tight angle. Top of the box and reaching for Tchouaméni. He saw Verratti coming, and his panic shot goes skyward.
Yeah, it's almost a 5v2, Phil. A lot of times I used to play possession games in the 8-yard box, so 6v6 with 4 in the outside players that had only 1 touch. It almost seemed that Monaco, 3 or 4 passes inside the 18-yard box of PSG without being able to get something at target, but too easy.
Good step up Maripan, who missed that match against Grasse. Both he and Fofana were out suspended. Donnarumma not the fleetest of foot, but he does get there and smartly plays it into touch.
Yeah.
That would be an area Navas might have a bit of an advantage.
Yes, in saying that, Phil, that 3 times he came off his line for this big guy. He was very quick, very aggressive over 2 or 3 yards, and every time getting a piece of the ball as well. That's so important through traffic.
Now comes PSG, and it's Messi Drawing 3 defenders, dishing it off for Mbappe. Takes the touch to settle, and the second touch finds the back of the net. Messi threaded the arrow, and Mbappe hits the bullseye.
Phil, Messi's performance against Club Brugge and his link up with Kylian Mbappe in particular was a delight to watch. And look at Neymar, yeah, talking about delight. This is brilliant. Poor loss of possession, and all of a sudden you get that break. It's a 2v2. They try to make it a 3v2. What a great first touch by Mbappe. Rolls it, looks off Messi, and goes far post. But Messi draws Maripan in, and all of a sudden you have time and space to get through traffic. Players shield Nubel, and that's a brace for Mbappe. What a good execution. Great technique again, Phil. As you can see, a short backswing and not a very high follow-through to keep the ball down and still allow it to have pace.
Lionel Messi's 4th assist of the season. And putting a smile on Kylian Mbappe's face, probably puts a smile on Leonardo's as well. There is a transfer window coming up that opens before they start playing again. And that might be the last chance for PSG to sell Mbappe for money, although it also opens the door for him to sign a pre-contract with his current one drawing to a close.
Yeah. And the most important factor in this might be the guy that just assisted him is Messi. When Mbappe thinks this is a better project for the next year or two to win something big, although Madrid is doing quite well, and I have Messi playing me balls like this, maybe I want to stay.
That's what they're hoping.
And the mere fact that Messi says, Mbappe, you take the penalties. Here you go, Mbappe scored the brace. Messi has always been a giver, but that's so important for players like Mbappe with a fragile kind of ego. Messi's the right guy to guide him.
Ball back for Marquinhos, 1 touch away. Of course, they really shot across the bow when they signed Neymar and Mbappe in the same window. But what they did with a fantastic 5 in this recent window might have shown Mbappe that they're looking at it for real and for the immediate future. Getting the likes of a Ramos and a Messi and a Donnarumma. Ball just slips away. The injury time trickling to a close, and now it draws to 1. And for all of their effort for Monaco, they find themselves down by 2 at the break. PSG 2, Monaco nothing at the half.
No hay, tenemos comida en la casa que valga. Cuando acá te está esperando el sabor casero, crujiente, tiernito y jugoso. Es pollo a la McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Las millas que recorres dejan huella, redibujan mapas, forjan legado y construyen sueños. Cada milla recorrida deja un saldo, cada cicatriz una batalla ganada, piel gruesa, pintada de carácter. Siente orgullo de las millas recorridas y las que están por venir. RAM, es lo que hacemos. El mejor.
un grupo de 5 chicos. Donde están là-bas, il manque quelqu'un là-bas au fond seulement. Voilà. Les gars, génial. Ok les gars, on commence tranquille, on commence à bouger jusqu'au rouge ici, on commence à bouger tranquille, parfait. Et au retour, toujours tranquille au retour. Para volver siempre tranquilo, siempre recuperación. Perfecto chicos, bien, bien, bien. On commence à bouger un petit peu les bras. Commencez à bouger les bras, petits appuis toujours, changer de direction à moitié. Revenez tranquille jusqu'à la ligne. Parfait les gars. Génial, génial. Volvemos tranquilo siempre. Presentación du dos. Les gars, récupérez bien au retour. Excellent, excellent, excellent. C'est avec les hanches. Y las caderas. Presiones siempre, pequeños apoyos entre medio. Chico bien, chico bien. On va chercher les ischios devant nous. On va faire los ischios arriba. Excellent les gars. Retour tranquille. Le petit pas latéral. Vous changez la direction du cours. Jusqu'au rouge. Ici quand même. Il faut le câble, non? Oui. Restez sur la même direction, devant et derrière vous. Pour revenir, l'autre direction. Volver, chicos, volver. Cruzamos del otro lado. Perfecto, chicos. On va chercher un seul talon pour le retour, changer jambe. Para volver, chicos, cambiamos pierna. Eso es. Rodillas arriba, genou vers le haut. Touchez le genou jusqu'au rouge. Changez la jambe pour revenir. Cambiamos pierna, volver, chicos. Muy bien todos. Pasito corto, izquierda y derecha, toujours les pas chassés, toujours bas, gauche à droite. Récupérez bien. Parfait, prenez le temps. Même chose pour l'arrière. Excellent, bon travail. Cherchez le pas vers le haut. Enchaînez, on le sort d'un coup. Récupérez bien. Les longues barres, diagonales toujours, droite et gauche.
Vous allez bouger un par un, tu peux les pieds de côté à côté, gauche et gauche, droite à droite.
Los pies un poquito derecha izquierda. Volvemos hacia atrás. Excellent les gars. C'est la deuxième allonge. Les petits pieds vers l'avant, vers l'arrière. Et on sort. Salimos. Muy bien, chicos. Attention, faites attention. Vous sortez vers l'avant, le dernier ici. Bien les gars. Quand vous revenez, on va garder 3 là-bas au fond, 2 dans l'opposé, on va jouer avec le ballon. Los 3 y 2 chicos, ballon pour vous. Parfait les gars. Et directement, on va jouer à 3 touches, on y va les gars. Presto que chicos, passe uno dans l'autre.
by the Portuguese man, but from a bad position. PSG 2, Monaco nothing. One switch at the break, pulling out the Brazilian Caio Henrique and sticking in the German Ismail Jakobs. And let's see how high up the left-sided player comes.
Very good, Phil. I looked at some heat maps when he played for Cologne, and he becomes a winger at times and is very comfortable in that final third, quite frankly. Better attacking fullback than Caio. Caio better defensively, but it's not what you want right now, 2-0. And saying that, you might become more vulnerable in the counter as well and let PSG go to 3 or 4.
By the way, it looks like what they've done is switch to a 3-back with Maripan flanked by Desassi and Sidibe, allowing Jakobs and Diop to patrol the flanks.
Great eyes, Phil Shane. You're absolutely right. Diop on that right side, Jakobs on that left side. A huge.
Ooh. And look at Donnarumma, ready at the top of the 18.
A huge tactical tweak by Kovac, and a huge gamble, Phil, playing 1v1 in the back against that front three of Messi, Di Maria, and Mbappe. Oof.
Well, they had more possession, they had more shots, they had more corners, they had more chances. They just had no pressure on Donnarumma. So, got to do something. Rolling the dice here with Golovan. Golovan looking for the corner, but the corner shut down quickly by the giant Italian.
Yeah, much better by Golovan. Driving at the heart of the defense. Marquinhos late and stepping. Just can't get enough power to really hurt Donnarumma with that ball from distance.
By the way, as you take a close look at the PSG jerseys today, you see a little gold trim to go along with the red, white, and blue. And that, of course, in honor of the 7th Ballon d'Or. Let's see, if there was a gold finger for Bond, I think Lionel Messi might be the golden toe. 7 Ballon d'Ors, and PSG honoring him here today with the uniform.
Amazing. Truly, truly amazing, and truly, truly well deserved, by the way, and classy, but knocked down.
Ooh. Looks like having a bit of a time breathing. Not sure if he was contacted. Didn't appear to be. Might have pulled something as well as he was trying to keep pace with the speedy attacker. Of course, it was an ACL injury that sidelined him for more than a year. It was supposed to only be about 5-6 months, but had complications and finally came back in October, and he's kind of taken over that top spot. But if he goes out, there's normally plenty of depth, although that'll be tested because Nuno Mendes also injured at the moment. They could slide Diallo out wide.
Yeah, he's done, Phil. Although he touched his stomach. He tried to recover with a sprint to stay with Diallo and pulled either a quad or a hemi, so that's a definite change.
Thilo Kehrer will come in. And again, another versatile player that can play pretty much anywhere on the back line. He'll likely slide in.
Yep.
And Diallo will slide over.
Yeah, how important have Diallo and Kehrer been, quite frankly? Both played right back, left back, center back at times. Marquinhos the only stable.
Ooh, Donnarumma went fishing and almost ended up hooked himself.
I think he did hook himself, Phil.
Bundled over from behind, Kylian Mbappe.
Yeah, you'll see that a lot, Phil, in that 3v3. So when you talk about 3 defenders, you have to foul there. Otherwise, they're off to the races with no cover. Now you can see a little bit of a slanted 4. There's the change, but the Diallos and Kehrers of the world are huge. Both your left fullbacks, in terms of the depth chart, aren't there in Bernard and Mendes. Another
even
guy.
Levan Kursawa has been hampered for much of this season.
Yep.
So Diallo, I guess a good thing the winter break coming up. It'll give him a few extra weeks to try and recover. Because right now, Diallo, the only healthy left back they have. Out wide from Martins. No time for sympathy for Monaco, trying to probe that weakness. Threaded forward, and Ben Yedder has always been quick. He's never really been fast.
Yeah, and for a guy that lives in the 18-yard box, quickness is more important than fastness or speed, for that matter.
An early gift by PSG, but placed back under the tree by Monaco. Here comes Mbappe. Kovac barking instructions to his defenders.
Yeah, you just see a better understanding tactically. Phil, again, if you look at the starting 11 of PSG, 2 consecutive games, exception of 1 change of their Tuesday game in the Champions League, and this team seems to have some fluidity, and this team more so.
Skips away and
seems to have a defensive steal by even saying in the first half, you know what, we don't mind being outpossessed, which is not normally PSG. So Poch finally, I think, instilling what he would like to see with Verratti, Ganagay, and Wijnaldum in midfield. Very industrious.
Verratti quick thinking. Messi, but he reached over and pulled down Jacobs.
They've picked their spots better. Yes, there've been some half chances. And the luck at the post.
And a few sloppy plays swept away there by the giant youngster Tchouaméni. And Mbappe paying the price.
Tchouaméni reaches for that 50-50 ball, gets contact first, leaves his feet, and also makes contact with Mbappe.
We'll take a closer look here.
We talked about the strength of those 2 midfielders. That's one of their strengths, Phil. The ability to slide, extend that long leg and make contact. And then your energy, your momentum carries you through the opponent, unfortunately, but...
Could have been worse. Mbappe able to get that foot up, though.
Yeah, and no malintent by a guy he knows quite well.
In fact, maybe both the future of the French national team.
Yep.
Mbappe, you mentioned it as we were coming back into the half. Now 100 goals in league for PSG. That doesn't include the goals he scored for Monaco back in his youth.
Correct. That's for one team.
So the 100 goals he has scored for PSG makes him the youngest player ever to hit the century mark for a single team in the top flight since they began counting that in the 1950s. So
amazing.
And again, as we point out, that was his 2nd team, and he's still the youngest.
You know his favorite team is Dijon with 11 and Monaco with 9, Phil. And what? 13 goals behind Cavani. 138 Zlatan still first over PSG.
Here comes Martins against Diallo. Well played by the fill-in left back. Martins comes back to poke it. It will carry into touch. Looks a little worried, doesn't he?
Yeah, he certainly does, and correctly so. You look at your bench right now, you have a lot of options, but they're young. The Dutchie, or Jean-Lucas, the Brazilian as well. There's another change, Phil.
And Monaco pulling Ben Yedder. Mentioned the fact he looked a little slow. He's been playing off the bench a bit more this year. Just could not find a way through that back line. Jean-Lucas checking in.
There we go.
The Brazilian mid. And Myron Boadu will be the man who really takes his place up front.
Yep.
The Dutchman, only 1 goal, but the 20-year-old starting to find his form.
AZ Alkmaar, we're very high on him for a long time. Has 1 cap for the Dutch national team. Happened to score as well, Phil, at his young age. And a bright future.
And even though he's a bit more of a physical presence at 6 feet than Ben Yedder, follows suit. A bit of a poacher, as we mentioned. One of the reasons why he did not get the start here today, and Golovin did. Let's see what they can do with some quicker wheels out there.
Yeah, and with a Brazilian young midfielder, Lucas, that is very creative, Phil, so I like that. They need to generate something centrally, and Golovin hasn't done that.
Mentioned we saw him back in his earlier days at Flamengo. Made the jump to Lyon, but never quite took root. Monaco able to grab him in the offseason, and they got themselves a good one. Lifting and looking. Mbappe with 2 to beat. Martins back to defend. Diallo. Verratti screaming. Already putting some pressure on the Brazilian. In for Ganagay. Maybe not quite as frenetic a press as Lens and Nice were able to do in recent weeks, but Monaco has pressured PSG. They have handled it better today, though.
Yeah, combination of both, Phil. I thought that we've seen better presses against PSG, a more sustained, aggressive, which we don't really see with Monaco. And give PSG some credit.
Sliding from Messi, threading it forward, but missing Wijnaldum. Straight back to Nubel. Mentioned it was a bit against their DNA. No team has scored fewer on deep turnovers than Monaco. Getting away from Donnarumma, cannot prevent the corner. Rumors continue to swirl about Pochettino's future. Trying to put paid to those. When you think about it, Thomas, a chance to manage Messi, Mbappe, Neymar, and the like, not to mention the other galaxy of stars in this PSG roster, seems like a dream job. But I guess it's only a quick turn from a nightmare if things don't work out. Golovin from the corner. Outswinger from the Russian. Marquinhos pressures. Sidibe through the referee. Back post Diop. Tchouameni heading it down. Cleared well by Diallo. Reclaimed by Monaco.
Yeah, these institutions, Phil, let's be real honest, that spend so much money and bring in this collection of great players, there always will be pressure on the manager, regardless. There's people right now calling for his head, and they're how many points ahead, and second place in the Champions League. Pretty darn good season from a result standpoint so far. Yes, it hasn't been always pleasing to the eye, and due to injuries, cards, and lack of chemistry as well. This team hasn't always looked brilliant.
Here comes Monaco again. Bouadou bumped from behind. Well-timed interference from Hakimi.
Yeah, well done, Phil. That real bump from behind, which could have been a potential foul. Really true. Woohoo. Nice pass.
Threads the needle and finds Verratti. Messi the other way. Nice turn. An advantage had been played on the contact with Mbappe.
Yeah, and we just talked about, there's a slight touch from behind. I think
if Bouadou goes down, he might have gotten the call.
I was just going to say that he's too honest, Phil. That's youth for you. An experienced guy, if it's Ben Yedder, he'll go down and probably get the call.
You know those Dutchies. Here comes Verratti. Out wide for Di Maria. Sidibe sliding over. Haven't really been able to take advantage of the three in the back. Let's see what they can do here. Diallo spanks it in for Ganagay, who is actually leading the line. Mbappe ripped off of his boot. Ooh, contact on the far flank. As Ganagay gets upended.
That's just a foolish foul, quite frankly.
Slamming into Jacobs.
Yeah, Jakobs is another big body, Phil, not even looking at the ball, wants to make contact with Ghana. Does.
Again, you can think if Kovac is able to stick around. Because again, you look at these three players, 20, 22, 23. The future's bright.
Yeah. And you throw Diop in there and the two holders in midfield, Phil. That's a core of 6 or 7 starters, potentially 21 or younger.
I think while Newell's might have had a few question marks at the start of the season, he has answered many of them since, and he's still just 25. So, as many managers have found out, though, got to turn those promises into reality. Long ball forward, flag pops up. Diop and Maripan found the net in Paris last year, 6 minutes into the first and 6 minutes into the second half. Martin steals this one away. Long ball across, cleared away by Kerr. Of course, Mbappe had put PSG up to a 2-0 lead in Monaco last season, only to see Monaco bounce back with 3 of their own. To mention Kevin Folland and Cesc Fabregas, the 2 players who scored those 3 goals, not here today.
That's huge, Phil. Absolutely huge, because it affects not just the 2 players and their numbers. You just mentioned 2 players that are probably the 2 most creative forces for his team. Fabregas not always starting, but coming off the bench as well. But it affects the 3 or 4 guys around them as well. Diop hasn't been as sharp, and clearly Martins is underperforming right now without Voland supplying him with the passes that he normally gets.
If there is a concern, it's Bernat's exit due to injury. It was not the ankle, though, or the knee make that, which is a good sign. But it was a strange departure as he was grabbing his midsection. Here's Messi. Di Maria back to his compatriot. Off to Mbappe, back to Messi. Bundled over by Maripan, shoulder to shoulder it appeared, but the referee disagrees. Maybe a little too much shoulder from the big man.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Maripan, I mean, his reaction, the Chilean, not complaining a lot. And again, it's one of those things, playing just the men versus the ball, which Maripan does right there, Phil. Arm comes out a little bit, preventing Messi to get behind him because he's in a forward motion. He's done. So that's a foul and a good, correct card as well.
No real argument from the Chilean, of course. 35 caps. He's come up against Messi wearing red before. That was one of the interesting things in recent weeks. Messi, not the only one, talking about the physicality of the French league. Maybe being one of the reasons why the goals have been hard to come by. But then again, if you've ever watched a South American World Cup qualifier, you think he'd be used to it.
Without a doubt. And I think the Spanish defenders are more cynical, maybe tactically a little bit more advanced. Yes, there is a lot of athleticism here, but this league is more than just athleticism. We're talking about some great defenders that we see every week in and out that solve problems technically and tactically.
Let's see.
That makes this league so special, Phil. Technically, tactically, emotionally, it's great. And then you add the athletic component. It's a brilliant league.
5 in the wall. No one down ground level. Let's see what Messi does from about 30. Had 1 in the first half and sent it skyward. Approaches, strikes, and this one a little closer, but still a couple yards high.
Yeah, not to get the dipper and the bender that we've seen, although, I mean, that's destined for the upper V. Might take a slight touch there, Phil, but closer than the previous one. No doubt about it.
Now, if you notice, it is a bit of a different look than his days back in Spain. No track in this 3rd generation of the Parc des Princes, but the stands are back, and again, no fans in them that he was shooting at. So, doesn't quite know his home ground as well as he did his old one.
And those are some excellent points, Phil. Players use reference points behind the goal. A particular fan that sits in the same seat. A obstacle that's been there for years.
Poked away off the triple team. John Lucas fighting to get it back. Wijnaldum doing well, and now he makes the inside run. Messi can't find him, though. Does get it to Mbappe. Much better movement from PSG here in the second half. And they're putting on a show. Little pirouettes from Mbappe, Verratti, and Di Maria in succession.
Yeah, that's a fine line, Phil, between showmanship and standing teams up and not respecting them versus, you're right, just brilliant technical ability of some great players.
And now it's Marquinhos into the attack. Messi feeds the Brazilian, drags it inside the 18, and just poked away before he could take the shot.
Donnarumma, some stumbles today, Phil, but again, high of his line right now, anticipates the through ball. So when the lines are higher, he plays quite far of his line, intercepts that one to start, and keep possession for PSG. Aggressive coming off his line, keeping the 0 so far, and the post being his best friend of one of the saves he made.
Just one win in their last 4 away, but it was their last one. Monaco starting to run out of time, and PSG starting to find their feet underneath them. A little sharper on the pass, and Mbappe could have set up a third.
And good recovery there. In particular, Di Maria helping in the press, regaining possession.
Swept away Maripan. Smart by Martins. PSG have not had 3 straight defeats in the top flight.
That's 1
against Monaco.
That's 2
since 2000.
That's 3, all in one sequence. You only see this normally on the practice ground, Phil, not in a real game. Verratti, Mbappe, and Di Maria.
Finding the gap, flag stays down. All of a sudden, the loose balls finding the blue shirts.
Yeah, so far, it's been a pretty darn good execution of the tactical plan. 2-0 up against a team that beat you twice last year. Not giving away a lot of chances, but still a little sloppy at times, as we can see here, but darn good performance.
Monaco will be making the 430-mile trek back to Paris next weekend, but they'll be taking on Red Star in the Coupe de France. Finish the hosts for PSG. We might end up seeing a lot of their teenagers in that one, but they don't want to let that trophy slip either. Keeping their eyes on as much hardware as they can get. Winning 2 in a row, looking to make it 3 in a row. The 14-time Coupe winners. And as we saw earlier this season, some of those 16 and 17-year-olds could be starting for many teams. A little too far for Mbappe. And it looks like they could be one step closer towards a record-tying 10th Liga title. This, I guess, the clubhouse turn. Chance here for Di Maria. Touched into the box. Down goes Mbappe again. But he's not going to get the call this time.
No, and shoot it, Phil. That's just good defending, shepherding a player away. The exercise for...
Stripped away. Messi dances through the challenge, cuts back to his right. Nice defense by Jean Lucas. And maybe a fortunate bounce.
Lots of red jerseys, Phil, that came back quickly in terms of recovery, forcing Messi on to that right foot. But that's the danger, Phil. We talked about defending with three and defending deep. A long ball, reaching one of those three spells almost doom.
Again, pressure in the midfield. And Monaco crumbles. Back for Messi. Right foot across. And it scrapes wide of the post. Still stuck on one.
Yeah, just what we talked about, Phil. Ball gets turned over. Brilliant give and go. These two players, by the way, have found their chemistry, their rhythm in the last 2 or 3 games. Messi with his right foot, just wide. But
I think it touches it.
The ball from Mbappe is just perfectly weighted. Classic example of the brilliant 1-2 or give and go.
Well, Thomas, let me ask you this, because this is what a lot of PSG fans are thinking. There are some that are going, but look at the team that you're playing with, the players you're playing with, the chance to maybe be one of the greatest teams of all time. Then there are the cynical ones that are saying, follow the money. Sidibe in towards the Boadu attack. You've played with some of the greatest players that ever laced up a boot. Money plays a huge role. It is a job, but sometimes it's more than money. Lifted inside and diving header. Martins denied by Donnarumma.
Yeah, with his own diving save, quite frankly, which gives him a yellow card. Played it with his hand, Phil. He's onside. Good run. And then he extends his right arm cheekily past Donnarumma, but
Lionel Messi might give a little smile on that one.
And going back to the hierarchy within the world of football or soccer, as we call it, Phil, yes, money has become huge. Yes, there are countries literally owning teams and oligarchs that can outspend anybody else. We've seen the Super League being pushed to reality almost. So it's hard for me. I love watching PSG because of the fact that they've put so many stars together. Is it healthy for world football? Is it healthy for the respective countries where the lower teams struggle each and every year financially? That's always a big question. Do the big spenders win? And I think that Chelsea last year was a great example. Abramovich literally putting billions into a team over the years to finally win the Champions, or won more, but to win it with Tuchel last year.
Well, yeah, I was going to say he needed the ex-PSG boss to do it, though.
Correct. And now you look at City and PSG, you know, we're talking about new money versus old money that's still around. The Juves, the Madrids, the Ajaxes of the world that have 1/10 of most of the round of 16 teams, but probably can make a run again because they believe in their system. Don't need stars or a lot of money to function well.
Ball chipped forward. Into the middle, Jakobs. Too far for Boadu. Kept in play by Martins. Final 15 minutes approach. Good ball back for Martins. And Verratti dropping. Di Maria. He anticipated well. Boadu using his body, but his mind on a different page. Strong step up. Maripan. Return to sender Marquinhos. So one away from hitting the midway point. PSG will stretch its lead to 13. Marseille with a game in hand behind them. Ligue 2, by the way. Ajaccio and Toulouse currently in the driver's seat for promotion. Auxerre even on points, and Paris FC refusing to go away. So showing Le Havre still in the running. You talk about how a runaway lead for PSG, but pretty much everything else from 2 down to 20 is a battle. Is that good enough?
And PSG's gotten the results, Phil, without a doubt. In the last 10 games, only one shutout, which was Nice that we called a week or two ago.
And that was a 0-0.
Correct. So teams are still able to create. Yes, they are dominant in points gathered, but they haven't been dominant in terms of their playing style, which has made all their games so attractive.
Lifted across and reaching over Donnarumma to deny Maripan. Back to the big Italian, who has been put under pressure but has not cracked. And this would be his third clean sheet of the season.
Yeah, I think those are building blocks if you're Pochettino. If I was Pochettino, what do I look at in terms of statistics? And yes, I like to be more fluent. That will come, I think, over time. But certain key statistics, the XGs for or against, are important. And that's why for a team like this to keep the 0 with the firepower they have, Phil, they can go places.
Nice movement by Wijnaldum. Never going to be a star in this team. He's got to be the link.
Yes.
Now, getting to your point about how good they could be, they still have to prove they can get over the likes of Manchester City if they're going to win it all.
Yep. But let's be real honest. I mean, City should be further ahead in their project. Adding really Grealish this year on the big transfer. And Varane. No, sorry, Varane going to Man United.
Top of the box behind Messi, though. Tracked down by Jakobs.
PSG this offseason, you've read all those names off. They've had an influx of 10 players. Not easy. I don't care how much time you spend on a practice field.
Oh, deflects away. Martins battling for it. Well played by Kerr.
In particular with these guys not only playing for club, but also all of these guys play for their countries. Which means you don't have as much time as people think you are. You do more recuperation with 3 games a week, which his teams play, than anything else. Hard. And if you look at Poch's career with his previous teams, he always got a year or two to pick up some younger guys to mold that team form. Tottenham being a great example, obviously. This is different ball of wax.
Kicks off the heels of Boadu. Verratti says thank you very much. Out wide, and Di Maria's legs churning to get there. Mbappe and Wijnaldum in the middle, trailing run Messi. Back for Verratti, who's starting to find his game form. Something that wasn't the case early on this season. Tangle right at the center circle.
Yeah. It almost seems those 3 guys have...
Nice by Messi. A quick shot across. And it just carries wide, but the flag comes up.
The way he shepherds a guy that's twice his size away and then tries to chip, obviously, Nubel, which is not happening. And as you said, the flag came up as well, but shows some strength there.
Leandro Paredes checking in, and Di Maria will exit.
You know what? I like this as well, Phil. That's saying we're up 2-0 in the round of 16, second leg with just over 10 minutes to go. And I'm going to go with a midfielder, take a forward out. We're up 2-0. Let's preserve this lead.
Pretty much a 4-4-1-1. Really Messi going wherever he wants. And Mbappe staying front for now. 10 minutes left to go. Ander Herrera also coming back from injury.
Yeah, Ganagay is the one that went off. So now you got Paredes and Herrera, two really 6s/8s, with Verratti, who's also a 6 or 8. It's the number 10. So still a very solid midfield triangle with the emphasis of being good defenders.
Martins.
And that's why, Phil, you and I talked about it. When Neymar is back, I doubt it if we ever, not ever, but in the big games, we'll see a front four of Messi, Di Maria, Mbappe, and Neymar. Not good enough for your balance.
You can hear the go, go, go from Pochettino on the sideline. Diallo keeps it in play, but his cross leaves a bit to be desired.
And as long as you get Herrera, who's got 3 goals and I think 3 assists as well. Ganagay, 3. Marquinhos gives you 3. So it's not just that front 3, Phil. A lot of guys that have contributed, particular guys in midfield that normally are there to stop the opponent. That's huge.
Just too far, and it crosses the chalk before Jakobs could stop it.
I think if you, in retrospective, I'm sure Kovac will look at that as well. Go to the 3-4-3 or whatever you want to call it. Didn't really work. I don't think the changes. I mean, all of a sudden, Ben Yedder had something, but we don't see that in out wide. Jakobs has struggled as well, Phil. They've lost their way a little bit, Monaco, and have not been able to really create anything in that second half. But you're giving some young players some experience.
And we'll probably see even more of that in the next match against Feyenoord, the lower division upstarts. Saw in the preseason and very early on some of those younger players that are still on the top roster. Seen perhaps the most from Erika Bimbe. And after that you have Xavi Simons, another promising Dutchman, Garbi and Michoud, Peter Musala. Out wide for Hakimi. And then, of course, the likes of Poland Dagba, etc., getting a chance. Hakimi whipped back in by Herrera.
If you're a young player, Phil, though, I think the last team you want to be part of is PSG. Only Mbappe, really, at the end of the day, is an established but still young player. Outside of that, they don't get a lot of chances. Some get loaned out and do well. Some right the bench.
Another sub getting set from Monaco. Long switch. Buadu has to catch up to it. Martins just a little too much. Golovin, who's quieted as the half progresses, shot a far cry from goal.
Yeah, Monaco in the middle to attacking third field really ran out of imagination in this second half. Very predictable. It's given PSG the opportunity to play very solidly right now on the 0. And call it a block of 7. Back 4 in midfield 3 have done a great job, including the honest Di Maria as well, to make it 8 at times, depending on what fullback goes forward. Lots of good things for Pochettino in this game, if they can keep, in particular, 0, maybe add one more. That would be perfection.
Buadu in the box. Off a PSG player, he'll settle for the corner.
Yeah, Hakimi
still time.
Hakimi does well, and actually, that did come with Hakimi. Good weak side defending. which you haven't seen. But both fullbacks, not as adventurous going forward, but more staying home field, giving them that solidity.
Again, swinging in. Donnarumma doing a good job controlling his 6 today. Can he keep the clean sheet?
Huge. You and I talked about Hakimi. You know, why is he not going forward? Hakimi's become more of a passer, Phil, out of that middle third, than a runner without the ball beyond. Because if it turns over, he's gone. If he passes, it turns over, he's still goal side. We've seen that change that Poch has implemented with both fullbacks.
Whipped into the middle, an easy grab for the Giant. And now 3v3 if they hurry. And Mbappe hurrying a little too much. Carries
Messi
away.
on the right side might have been a better option for Mbappe. And again, back-to-back games with a brace, Phil. And breaking some numbers through that, as you just mentioned as well. Brilliant. He's also been directly involved in 143 goals in 142 games for club and country. Amazing. That's a happier Mbappe with Poch.
Amazing what a couple goals can do.
Yeah. It sounds funny, Phil, but even the coaches that appear to be very confident, there's nothing better than taking a star player off and hoping you get a positive response. I took Valderrama off twice and he wasn't very happy, and it made me nervous, actually, quite frankly. No, it did. So Poch is going, okay, Mbappe is accepting my decision. Important.
Two Monaco players down. Gianluca still, no foul. Verratti checking to make sure Sidibe is still okay.
On his knees.
Woohoo!
Yeah, actually.
Little lunge.
Yeah, Scott's up as well. This Verratti just with a real cynical kick. And the correct yellow. Yeah, there shouldn't even be an argument.
Could there be one on the other challenge?
There should have been. Yeah. That's worse. Studs up is just a no-no nowadays, Phil, because we called that in the old days, those are leg breakers. When you make contact with your studs up and stretched out leg, it hurts and breaks people's legs. Verratti's the swing around to make contact kind of foul, which is a yellow.
Top of the 18, flicked on. Off of Herrera. Hakimi will track it down, tries to return the favor, but kept alive by Monaco. Just too far for Monaco. Kylian Mbappe. Ah.
Wow.
Well, that's going to last.
Making somebody happy.
Put a smile on Kylian's face.
Early Christmas, yes.
And he passes it on.
Brilliant. That's what you like your stars to do. Engage. Particularly with young people, because Mbappe's my hero. I love him. My role model. Well done, Kylian.
Nice by Verratti. Fights off the hook from Gianluca. Now Nialo inside. Herrera getting advanced. Hasn't been a brilliant performance from PSG, but they have answered the questions Monaco has asked. And now as we head to added time, the only question remains is, can they keep a clean sheet? And that shot from Golovin from distance was a test.
Yeah. The only two times that Donnarumma got tested, once he had to make a save, was Golovin driving at that back four, particular centrally. Nobody steps quickly, Phil. Season opening, just cannot bend it towards goal.
We've been looking at this from a PSG perspective. For Monaco, again, this is one of the storied teams battling for an opening CDB up in the opposing zone. Kept alive for Golovin, top of the 18. Down goes Donnarumma. And he smothers the ball before it can pop loose for Isidore.
Yeah, another good shot from distance. And the key with Donnarumma twice now when he's been tested, Phil, where he had to make a save. He's not giving up any rebounds. He's been very solid through almost 90 minutes. Only one little stumble there with his feet once where he got caught, but throughout, probably now saying, this is my position. I'm the number one.
Last year got off to a bit of a slow start as well, but never really dropped below mid-table and actually closed out to finish third in Liga. This year they were down in the relegation zone in the opening weeks. Marquinhos, awkward but effective.
Yep.
And right now with this defeat, looks like they will be stuck mid-table when the year changes. Had a chance to jump up to sixth.